Hey nerds, guess what? We're doing Starfinder! Starfinder 2nd Edition just came out this year at Gen Con, and I got a copy of it. I am so excited to finally be doing Starfinder. I was thrilled to be able to go to Gen Con this year and be on the introductory team that got to introduce people to the Starfinder 2nd Edition system that is completely cross-compatible with Pathfinder 2nd Edition, thanks to the new gaming license that they use for it. I could not be more excited. Let's get into it. Something that I'm really excited about with the Pathfinder 2nd Edition is that there are new ancestries, like the Skittermander ancestry that is so cute. There will be ships. As of right now, when I am filming this, there is not a ships book yet, but they have said that it is most likely coming soon. The GM Core just got released this month with the Alien Core, which is like their monster manual, which is coming out sometime early November. If you have the ability to get your hands on it, I really recommend you do so. It's going to be awesome, and I'm thrilled about it. So as much as a fantasy girly as I am myself, I am also a huge fan of science fiction. And what is better than science fiction and fantasy when those two worlds collide? Science fantasy is similar to science fiction, but with a few distinct differences. Primarily, it is that sci-fi explores what could be possible through a scientific lens, such as teleportation, androids, and interstellar travel. Those things that are currently out of the realm of possibility, but might not always be. Look at what we have now that was considered science fiction 50, 100, even 20 years ago. We have supersonic airplanes. We have rockets to the moon. We have video face calling on the other side of the world. I can call up my friend in Germany right now and talk to him with my face. We weren't able to do that even 20 years ago, which is insane. We also have things like medical implants and supercomputers in my pocket. Hell, I can go to the grocery store and just wave my watch at a kiosk and be able to pay for all my groceries. So who knows where we'll go in the next 100 years. Science fantasy incorporates the virtually and inherently impossible in a tech-driven setting, such as the Force from Star Wars, or being plugged into the Matrix, or a spaceship that's bigger on the inside. The core element of science fantasy is that it mixes science and technology with the supernatural, the unexplainable, or the surreal to give the consumer a sense of escapism in the same way that traditional fantasy does. In Starfinder, we find elements of space exploration, alien encounters, and spellcasting, and more. The best part? It's fully compatible with Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Does that mean that I can take my elven swashbuckler and put her from a pirate ship onto a spaceship? You bet it does. So for the next few minutes, please come along with me as I explain a little bit about the Starfinder 2e Player Core Rulebook and the world of Starfinder, and why this should be the next game that you play in your next campaign. So here's an overview of the game. First, let's talk about the worlds of the Starfinder universe. The creators of Starfinder wanted to mix a combination of science fiction, traditional fantasy, and modern elements to create a huge setting filled with magic, galactic travel, monsters, aliens, and technology. The planets within the galaxy have all formed an alliance known as the Pact Worlds. Most beings live here as a coexisting society within the galaxy. So, while Starfinder and Pathfinder do exist in the same universe, the primary Pathfinder world of Galarion no longer exists thanks to something called the Gap. Essentially, no one knows what happened, no one has any memory of it, and magic can't bridge that gap.
You suck!
Sorry, I had to. So once Galarion was gone, Absalom Station was built. This is the home of the Starfinder Society. The Starfinder Society, like Pathfinder Society, is a prominent group of explorers and adventurers and record keepers whose job is to explore the galaxy and report their findings in order to map and catalog everything. Starfinder and Pathfinder Society in real life is Paizo's organized play. This is a massive organization that allows players to all play the same campaign story together over a season, taking their characters with them wherever they go, whether that be to a local game store, all the way up to a big convention like Gen Con, and leveling those characters up with every adventure. I have been a Starfinder Society and Pathfinder Society GM and player for years, and it is something I am crazy about. I have met so many cool people through the society and have played and ran some awesome games. If you've never been to an organized play game, I really recommend it. It is something that it's hard to explain, especially when you try to explain to people what the special is. Imagine, like, most people like to call it a
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Most people like to consider it a Pathfinder or Starfinder speed run. Picture yourself in a room with about 300 other people, all playing the same game as you, all at the same time, and you have 4 hours to get it done. And it is go, 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 go. And it's crazy and it's chaos, and I have such a blast doing it. I really recommend you go and try it. For anyone who is near the Indianapolis area or can fly to the Indianapolis area, or however you get to the Indianapolis area, I really recommend that you try to go to Gen Con next year and try out one of these specials. It's a great time. If you've ever thought about joining an ongoing organized play organization, I cannot recommend it enough. It's a little like playing an MMO, but in a TTRPG. You've got hundreds, if not thousands of players all from all over the country, all playing the same campaign at their own pace and your own pace. You take your character with you, you level them up as you go along, and sometimes you'll have these big, massive multiplayer events. So now that that tangent is out of the way, let's get into character. So for Pathfinder and Starfinder, we don't use the word race. Your character has what is known as an ancestry. There are 12 ancestries in Starfinder, and please forgive me if I pronounce any of these wrong. I have only read them. I have not heard them spoken. They're androids, which are synthetic constructs created by humanoids in their image. They come in a wide range of forms, ranging from almost completely human-looking to full-on robot. They even have their own souls, which is really cool. Barathus, which are floating, weirdly shaped jellyfish thingies that can change forms at will thanks to their genetic adaptation trait. They kind of remind me of the Netches from the Elder Scrolls franchise, if you've ever played Morrowind. You've got humans. These are ugly flesh sacks with loud mouths and a penchant for chaos. They come in a wide range of shapes, sizes, and colors. Humans come from their homeworld of Galarion before it was destroyed, but now you can pretty much find humans in every corner of the galaxy, just like the disease they are.
Human beings are a disease.
Kasathas are a race of humanoids steeped in ancient tradition. They have 4 arms and elongated skulls and muscular but lanky frames. They value balance, respect, and tradition above everything else. Lashuntas are a psychic race that primarily look either very tall and willowy or very short and muscular. They have antennae that protrude from their foreheads, as well as colorful bumps and markings on their faces. Patras are a race of cat people, similar to like the Khajiit of the Elder Scrolls. Yes, I know that's 2 Elder Scrolls references in 5 minutes. I play a lot of it. Get off me. Patras are tall and flexible felines that come in a wide range of fur colors and patterns. They have retractable claws and sensory organs across their muzzles, like a lot like a regular cat does. They tend to be cocky and competitive in nature. And the iconic character of Day is a Patra, and he is a celebrity, and he has all the swagger and charisma that you would expect from a character like that. Shirans are large arthropod insectoids that were once part of a hive mind collective, but over centuries have gained independent thinking and a sense of individuality. Skittermanders! If you've ever wanted to play an adorable little furball bent on making as many friends as possible, you should play a Skittermander. They look like Stitch with 6 sets of arms and a set of legs, big round eyes, and fluffy fur just everywhere, and they give me cute aggression. They are known for being energetic, outgoing, and altruistic with vibrant personalities. When I tell you that I am obsessed with the Skittermander, I am not exaggerating. Forget genetically modifying more food. We need to create these things. I need one now. Vesks. They are large reptilian people similar to the lizard folk or dragonborn. They're big, strong, battle-hardened people who value strength, might, military, and respect. Wysocki. Jacob Wysocki is an American actor and comedian who is part of the cast of Dropout TV. Wait, no, hold on. Isoki. These guys are little rat folk who are clever and flexible. Most of them are good tinkerers and will often augment themselves with cybernetics. They are very community-driven and will often adopt their friends and people that they like into their family, just like your emotional support extrovert. They're great to have in any party and can be very tight-knit. These are your primary ancestries, but there are a couple of versatile heritages that you may choose to explore. Those are the Borai and the Prismeni. The Borai are a race of people who are not quite undead, but they're also not quite alive either. Some Borai are created out of a botched resurrection. Some refuse to die and cling onto their corpse out of stubbornness. Some are necrotized. The Prismeni were born with an innate connection to the drift. They look like any other ancestry, but they have distinct characteristics such as rainbow hair, shiny skin, metallic eyes, and more. You can find any of these ancestries pretty much anywhere, but some planets will have greater saturations of certain types of people. Plus, you can mix your ancestry with a bunch of different backgrounds and heritages to really customize your character. Let's get into classes. There are 6 classes at the release of the core rulebook: Envoy, Solarian, Mystic, Soldier, Operative, and Witch Warper. The Envoy is a leader.
All right, ladies, the kitten whispers and tickle fight stop now.
They use their knowledge of combat to organize the field and run tactical battles while giving their party boons. They also have this great trait called Lead by Example that gives them a bonus to their damage rolls equal to their charisma modifier if they land a successful hit. They also can give their allies directives and will give them certain bonuses with each order. Like Get 'em, which gives everyone, including themselves, a +1 bonus to a single target for 2 rounds. It adds up quick and is pretty awesome in combat. The Mystic is a wisdom-based casting class. Mystics tend to have a deep, sometimes telepathic bond with their allies.
There is great turmoil within Master Yoda.
Mystics are a little bit cleric, a little bit wizard, a little bit druid. You can heal your party, you have a high perception, and can cast powerful spells to turn the tide of combat. Mystics also have this really cool thing called a vitality network. Think of it like the Force from Star Wars. Beings who are Force sensitive, who can tap into this mystical power, can feel each other's thoughts, feelings, memories. They have highly developed instincts and reflexes, and they can use the Force to manipulate objects, heal, and influence thoughts and actions. The Vitality Network is basically like a bank of hit points, and you get to be the broker. You can deal out hit points to yourself or a party member when things look dicey. So, hey, in this instance, a friend with benefits actually means health insurance instead of The Operative is a focused and quick-witted tactician whose deadly aim makes for a lethal combatant. You're highly trained in guns and weapons, have a high reflex score, and are easily concealed. It's like the Space Rogue. You get expertise in guns at level 1 and just get more deadly as you level up. You want to be a Jedi? Of course you do. It's a freaking Jedi. Well, you can be one in Starfinder by taking the Solarian class. The Solarian is a solar knight who attunes to the forces of light and gravity using an array of solar equipment and weapons. You know what that means? Mother flippin' lightsabers. You create weapons out of starlight, which act as an extension of you, so you can change what they look like and what type of damage that they do with meditation. Also similar to the conjured weapons in Doctor Strange. And as you level up, your weapons will gain more benefits like being attuned to gravity, which makes the area around you difficult terrain, or photons, which allow for extra fire damage. There are a lot of cool ways that you can flavor playing the Solarian. The Soldier is pretty self-explanatory. But just because it's a straightforward class does not mean it's a boring one. You are the tankiest of tanks. Soldiers plunk themselves down in the middle of combat and basically laugh at damage while laying down fire with heavy weapons. Having a straightforward class is always a great option for people who just want to get into the game and play without a whole lot of excessive flair. And speaking of excessive flair, the Witch Warper is easily one of the flariest classes that there is. Witch Warpers literally warp reality. Being able to visualize alternate timelines, reach into parallel universes, and create energy fields that exist outside of space and time. You can manipulate terrain, gravity, and more. Witch Warpers have an innate sense of mathematics, statistics, and probability, and the ability to utilize these skills in deductive reasoning during skill challenges. Dive deeper into all of these classes with class archetypes, and there are a ton of different ways to play each class. You can be a solar sword-wielding Solarion while directing the flow of heavy battle as an envoy. You can be a heavy-hitting soldier while also channeling the fundamental forces of the mystic universe. Throw in attributes from backstories and ancestries, and you can really make some intriguing and really dynamic characters. You can continue to flesh out your character builds with equipment, spells, skills, feats, and other attributes. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on this because, like most TTRPGs, character building is a process that, for the most part, is similar in every game. It's just how they're flavored differently and how they divvy up attributes. Some do it with sheets, others do it with cards or other ways, so I won't spoil the fun of character creation for you. Besides, you're here to learn why this game is the one that you should play over other choices. So here are a few ways that Starfinder and Pathfinder differ from other mainstream tabletop role-playing games. So let's get into gameplay. Starfinder breaks down gameplay into 3 modes: encounter mode, exploration mode, and downtime. Encounter mode is where the action happens. Primarily, this is where combat will happen, but also other high-stakes situations can go here. When not in an encounter, Starfinders engage in exploration. The whole point of Starfinder is that you are exploring the galaxy, meeting new life forms, discovering planets, recovering resources, and more. So exploration time is a pretty big part of the game. For someone like me who likes to add my own stories to an established universe, the exploration of Starfinder is absolutely perfect. The whole galaxy is not mapped out yet. You can create 100 planets in 100 solar systems with hundreds of different beings to uncover. For those of you who like to stick to the rules and lore as they are written, you're in luck, because the wildly imaginative folks over at Paizo continually put out new modules, one-shots, adventure paths, and more. Not to mention all of the third-party content on sites like DriveThruRPG that is compatible with Starfinder 2e to keep expanding your horizons. While in exploration mode, players can explore both the vast outer space or their immediate one. This is where you can do things like checking for traps, or detecting magic, or investigating, but there are also some activities that are special to Starfinder, things like implanting an augmentation on a willing creature, installing upgrades, or even live streaming to your fans. Basically, when you're not actively fighting or chilling, you're exploring.
Duh.
In encounter mode, gameplay runs how most players are used to. You roll a check, you use your action economy to perform actions, etc. In Starfinder, you get 3 actions. That can be a move and 2 attacks, 3 moves, 3 attacks, etc. And each action you attempt costs so much of your action economy. For example, there are attacks that are 2 or 3 action moves. Also, in order to make multiple attacks in one round, your attacks will fall victim to the multi-attack penalty or MAP. For most things, this means that your second attack is, in most cases, at least a -4 or a -5 penalty, and your third attack is at an additional penalty, often resulting in a -10 to the attack roll. This doesn't mean that your attack will automatically fail, it just makes it harder. Also, keep in mind when you're playing that just because you can attack 3 times doesn't mean you have to attack 3 times. You can always disengage, duck for cover, try to intimidate your opponent. Don't fall prey to the map trap. Essentially, encounters in Starfinder are pretty much the same as encounters as most tabletop role-playing games. Roll an initiative, play a round, play another round, and another, and another, and another until you end the encounter. You defeat the baddies, you come to some kind of truce, or there's some other kind of outcome. During your turn, it's easy enough. Perform a single action, do a short activity, which usually takes 2 or 3 actions, make a free action or a reaction. Sometimes there are certain activities that take more than one turn, most commonly spells. Now, something cool about this game is that there are special encounters like mounted combat or aerial combat or aquatic combat, and you can literally have combat in zero gravity. It's kind of weird how they set it up in the book, but once you figure out how things like zero gravity and being untethered works, you kind of open up your horizons a lot more when it comes to having different kinds of combat in different kinds of environments. Downtime is exactly what it sounds like. This is when you're not engaged in an encounter or out exploring. This is when you're chilling at the base or on your ship while traveling to the next star system, or when you're on a shore leave of sorts. You can spend the time preparing spells or mending or upgrading your armor and equipment, making repairs to the ship, gaining a better understanding of who these weirdos are with whom you agreed to be stuck on a ship for the next 5 years. This is a great time for the GMs to just kind of sit back and let your players have a little fun engaging with each other in character roleplay. This is some of my favorite time during a game. It really breaks up the constant monotony of, you see this, what do you do? You see that, what do you do? And just allows you to sit there and be like, you ever seen a ghost?
You ever seen a ghost?
Otherwise, you can use long-term downtime to train and earn income, heal and treat diseases, go shopping, and more. I don't think many people who play role-playing games realize just how much you can roleplay. You can act out an entire life if you want to, from the most epic to the most mundane. Starfinder can even be played solo if you want to. There are solo adventures that play out like a choose-your-own-adventure or escape room kind of story for those who really want to get into their character. So as I've said before, thanks to the awesome folks over at Paizo, Starfinder 2nd Edition is completely cross-compatible with Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Because of this, you can have the same races, ancestries, and classes as in Pathfinder, but this in the space of Starfinder, assuming your GM is cool with that. It also means that if you want a deeper and more in-depth overview of the rules and the gameplay, the Pathfinder 2nd Edition core rulebooks, the Player Core 1 and the Player Core 2, will give you more information than you'll be able to find in the Starfinder Player Core. This helps with redundancy, making the Starfinder book more concise and specialized to what you'll be dealing with specifically in the space of a science fantasy themed game. Another really fun bit about Starfinder versus Pathfinder is that while Pathfinder takes its roots primarily from history and fantasy, stuff we've already seen, we already know, Starfinder takes most of its tropes from pop culture, and it shows. When you're building characters and settings, you will see a lot of nods to IPs like Star Wars, Mass Effect, Blade Runner, Doctor Who, and many more. This adds a really fun twist that personally I love, because you can have all the dramatic role play of an intense action scene while also not taking everything too seriously. Pathfinder and Starfinder are essentially the exact same game, just in a different setting. The gameplay, the rule set, all of it is the same. Once you know how to play one game, you'll know how to play the other. But that doesn't mean that you're always going to get the same experience with both. Or maybe you will. It's up to you and your GM, and how they run your game and how you play your character. Pathfinder and Starfinder have a huge community if you want to get involved. There's an online community, an organized play community, hundreds of game modules, and a writer's guild where there's new stuff being put out constantly. Pathfinder is the perfect gateway game for folks who are looking to branch out from games like Dungeons and Dragons. And Starfinder is the perfect gateway game for those who want to get away from traditional fantasy and branch out into science fiction, science fantasy, post-apocalyptic, and more. From there, you have an entire world full of role-playing games just begging you to take a look at them. And if you want to continue to explore the TTRPG space, especially with indie games and up-and-coming authors, designers, artists, please definitely follow me and creators like me who are trying to bring more light to games like these. Like the subscribe bell, and let's play more games. Thank you so much for being here with me today and taking a small glimpse into the world of Starfinder. If you would like to dive deeper into the game and the lore of Starfinder, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials, and I would be thrilled to talk your ear off about it. I really cannot stress enough how much I love this game. All of my information about my social accounts can be found in the description box below. I want to say a huge thank you to all of the awesome folks at Paizo for not only making great games and nurturing a stellar community, but for letting me have the opportunity to help teach this fantastical game to new players. I hope you have a great day, stay nerdy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, nerds. Laundry's done. I am still recording. Fantastic. Yes. I got a new microphone. I'm so excited. I'm not filming this on my phone. I got a camera and everything. We have to learn how to talk on camera, Atlas. I could call up somebody in Japan and talk to them right now with my face. Oh, God. No. This was expensive. It looks wobbly on camera. Oh, I'm recording. Shit.